I'm Rosanne Foust. Welcome to this edition of Penn Voice. I'm here today with Hank Scherff, who is the chair of the San Mateo County Veterans Commission. Welcome, Hank. It's good to have you today.
Thank you, Rosanne. It's my pleasure to be here.
So will you tell us about the Veterans Commission, how it was formed, what its charter is? Give us a little flavor.
Yes, in 2015, the county completed a study of veterans' needs assessment in the county, and several recommendations came out of that, including the formation of a Veterans Commission. So in 2016, the county went out and sought applications for commission members, and the commission was formed.
And how many members are there?
So we have 11 members and 2 alternate members.
And what is the criteria to be a member?
The criteria is, although all the members are veterans, that's not a requirement to do that, but we prefer to have veterans because they have an identity of what we're dealing with. We're looking for people who have good connections within the veterans community as well as connections in the community itself, and also for their leadership capabilities.
You've been involved from the beginning, and you've been involved in Veterans Affairs in our county for a long time. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a graduate of the Naval Academy, and then I spent 10 years on active duty. I was a naval aviator, and then I spent another 20 years in the reserves. So I did a total of 30 and retired as a Navy captain. And I've been pretty much involved.
Thank you for your service. I wanna say that.
Thank you. So I've been involved with veterans. I mentor a lot of veterans that are coming off of active duty looking for transition to the civilian world. Also spend a lot of time with veterans that are at the Stanford Business School and also at the active duty that are at the Hoover Institute.
Tell us about the challenges that you see over the course of the mentoring and them leaving active duty. What are some of the issues and maybe the changes of issues over the years?
I think it's how does someone who has been on active duty and so engrossed into what they're doing, maybe in combat situations or whatever it might be, is how do you translate the skills and experiences they've had to the civilian world that a future employer would find of value? What's their value add that an employer would find?
And how do you help them with because Hank, you're very good, and I've witnessed this, really the empathy part, the understanding, and kind of the soft skill development. So maybe tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think that just comes from a lot of experience since I'm a little bit older. But I've just kind of developed this over time of listening to people and hearing what they have to say. And so when I put somebody into a mentoring situation, I don't just listen to them, but I give them little action items to do.
Oh, I like that.
Maybe some online tests and things like that to help figure out where their skills are and what industries, what businesses they might be most successful in. And then we talk about that. And then since I'm pretty well connected in the community, I will hook them up with interviews with people that can maybe give them some insights and help them.
Can kind of take them to the next step in their career development and also the life skills, I think.
Right, and it's a lot about what the outside world is like because their whole existence has been military.
And that transition, I mean, the Veterans Commission, you are busy. I've been to the event that you hold for Veterans Day, which is an absolutely wonderful experience. So can you tell us the different things that the Veterans Commission has been doing and involved in so the audience is aware?
Sure. We are focused on a number of different initiatives. One is homelessness. Another is veterans housing. We're also making sure that veterans understand what their benefits are getting those benefits.
Great.
And also just veterans that are needy. From the homeless side, I'm very proud to say that functionally, San Mateo County has almost 0 homeless veterans. Maybe there are 16 or so that are not housed, and those are probably for various reasons, are never going to be housed because they don't want to be housed, but we've found housing.
That's a huge accomplishment. And you really, I mean, you and the commission deserve a lot of credit for that, because to have, I mean, veterans homelessness was such an issue for a long time. So how did you tackle it?
Well, I would say, I don't want to say that it's all the commission's doing, because it's not, because this county has got a good homeless program run by Selena Toily and her group. We just kind of monitor it and do what we can. I'm very involved with the Boy Scout program, and I've been able to integrate some of the Boy Scout stuff, and we've had 3 Eagle Scouts for their Eagle Scout projects do backpacks for homeless veterans, and we have another slug of those going out here probably this week.
Oh, that's fantastic. So they put together the backpacks, and then how does it work?
So what they do is all 3 of these young men have done this through their church. They get their church members to contribute funds. They go out, and their project is that they buy the materials. They've come to the commission, and we've sat down with them and gone through what they should consider putting in the backpacks and so forth, and then we'll help them distribute that.
And that's wonderful. And you also were involved in the development of more veterans housing at the Menlo Park VA.
That was, we kind of got in on the tail end of that. Now we've been involved with the housing development that's going on in Millbrae by the BART station.
Oh, tell us about that.
So that one has been in the works for quite some time, and it got kind of hung up, and then the commission, as the chair, I sent a letter off to the city council with saying that we really support this effort. There were 20% of the units would be dedicated to veterans, and I think that helped to push it over to get approval by the city council.
So it's been approved, and now it'll go to the building phase.
Yes, as far as my understanding, it's still grinding its way through the system.
Things take time. Housing projects take time. What are some other things you want to share with us about the Veterans Commission and some of the things that really touch you?
Well, I think that our Veterans Commission members are not only just there to listen and advise the Board of Supervisors, but many of them roll their sleeves up, and they're very involved with the veterans agencies like the VFW
and tell us what VFW stands for.
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Thank you.
And we have American Legion. And so we have several of these around in the various communities in the county. And so we're pretty plugged into what they're doing, and we go and participate in their events. They come and participate in our events. We're involved with various veterans ceremonies around. I was a speaker at the Golden Gate Cemetery Veterans Day ceremonies this year. So we try to get around and get well known and bring the veterans into these things.
Well, I think all that you're doing is something that the greater community should know about. And how can they go on the county's website, so San Mateo County government, and just search Veterans Commission and find out how they can support you more? Right.
And periodically we don't have any openings now, but when we do have openings on the commission, we put that out and ask for applications for people to come in. We have various other events that are happening. Our commission meetings, we have them every other month. We'll have one in January, and then all the odd months. And it's open to the public and open for comments or hear what we have to say, what's going on.
Well, Hank, I want to thank you on behalf of the greater community for all the work that you do for our veterans as chair of our Veterans Commission. And just thank you so much, and thank you for your service. This is Rosanne Foust. Thank you for watching Penn Voice. We look forward to seeing you on a future edition. Take care.